So hi everybody, this is Kevin Gormley. Hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk about one of my passions recently, and it's about low carb eating and how it's changed my life. I'm now up to 6 months of eating low carb, and this is really not about my story. It's really about why might you, and why might you low carb, that is. Why might you consider this way of eating? It might change your life, might change a loved one's life, might change your spouse's life, your kid's life. Obesity is an incredible problem, but it's not so much about getting fat, it's about getting unhealthy. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutrition, this is just my story. So I have no disclosures. I am a financial planner, a CPA. I work on tax, financial. But my only disclosure is to try to help others. That's something that brings great value to my life. And really, it was the motivation of a friend who lost 100 pounds and said that carbs were killers that really got me back into this, and did my own exploration to find out why I wanted to do it. So why might you want to do it? Anyway, unless hoping people live healthier and our Medicare system does not bankrupt our country, I guess that's really the only other financial disclosure I have. So this is not about me, but about you or those that you love. And for me, the beginning of this, and I'll talk a little bit about, traditional dieting or conventional dieting versus going low carb, higher fat, ketogenic. But it's shocking how easy it is. It gets easier and easier. And as a matter of fact, I found that I really irritate people more and more because they're just like, you're not going to eat this. And it's so easy. I had no willpower 6 months ago, and today I have willpower, and it's just because there's a major change. So it gets easier every day. 6 months, I don't think I'm going to go off this way of eating because I feel so great. It goes against the grain, no pun intended, because, well, maybe a little, but we don't eat grains and sugar and carbohydrates. But it goes against the grain of most advice, and that's even from doctors, from nutritionists, from people on TV. More and more people are starting to talk about it, but it's worked well for me and about a dozen friends now, and your mileage may vary. So it doesn't work for everybody. It really works great for the insulin-resistant, pre-diabetic, diabetic type people. It works great in men. I have heard some good feedback in ladies as well, especially if you're, again, insulin resistant. That's really where it seems to work. But your mileage may vary. Check with your doctor and all those other disclosures I'm supposed to give. Misconceptions are wild and many. Many people, when they hear about this low carb, higher fat way of eating, they think it's high protein, which it's not. They think you have to stop eating all carbs, which you kind of do, but you can still get carbs from vegetables and from meat and from other types of very nutritionally dense foods. But it's not perfect, but it's darn good. And for me, now, 6 months later, if I could tell myself 6 months ago why to do this, it would be first about the brain health. Incredible stories around people that have gone low carb, ketogenic diet and have used things like coconut oil and MCT oils, which is just medium chain triglycerides. It's not as impressive as it sounds, but are making ketones like mad. And instead of the brain burning mostly sugar, now it burns mostly fat. And the brain health has been incredible, stable. I'm in tax season right now. It's before clock-in time right now, but I can work 10 hours straight without bonking or hitting the wall or feeling like I just want to quit because the brain health, it's just, maybe it's just that I was foggy before. I don't know, but I'm able to just go all day without any problems. And so then next it was about reversing pre-diabetes. For me, I was, as they say in the South, fixing to be a type 2 diabetic. Everything was going in the wrong direction. I've totally reversed all the biomarkers of type 2 diabetes and have never felt better. And then finally, the reason why I started was because of a physical that I got from my doctor, but it was also because I wanted to lose weight. So that's still a part of it. I'm down 37 pounds. I am totally plateaued right now, totally stalled at 209, 210 pounds. And so I don't know. I'm not that upset about it, though. And then limited cardio for the last 6 months. I'll present a video to you, or at least show you. You can watch this video What I'm more doing is heavy weightlifting recently. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's all about building muscle, which causes you to be able to burn more sugar and fat. So here's what everybody always asks is, what do you eat? Well, you don't have to eat gobs and gobs of fat. One of the reasons why a lot of nutritionists thought that, hey, fat was bad for you was because fat is very energy dense, or it has a lot of calories, if you want to put it that way. So you eat, a tablespoon of fat versus a tablespoon of carbs, and a tablespoon of fat has many more calories, but it's not about calories. So these are some of the different fats that I put on stuff. Okay, this is coconut oil. I put it in my coffee in the morning. Be careful, it can cause gastrointestinal distress. These two are MCT oils. Absolutely a problem with MCT oils. Start very low dosages. You have to titrate these things. This is heavy whipping cream. We probably have 6 to 12 of these in the house at any given time. I used to think heavy whipping cream was dangerous. This is Kerrygold butter. It's grass-fed butter. I'm really not into this whole grass-fed organic. Maybe I should be, but Kerrygold tastes great. Costco sells it. So these things, you can put these on everything. So you can have a quote-unquote healthy meal with vegetables and a really lean-cut meat. And then you can put tons of this stuff on that food, and it makes it so fat is fuel. Now, the reason why that you don't die from a heart attack, at least I haven't yet, is because we are fat burning. We are burning these fats as they come in. We don't have carbs to burn. We switch over to fat as fuel, and we burn the fat, even the saturated fat, which is really terrific. It's our fuel. Now, if you have carbs and you have fat and you have like the standard American diet, then maybe fat will cause you to have plaques and all these other things. Of course, I don't believe that, but I'm just telling you maybe, because what I'm trying to do is get you to think a little bit differently, and I don't want to hook an oppositional streak in you. But fat is fuel. So you take away the carbs, though, and what I have found is you have to add some items. The first and most bizarre item and controversial item is salt. And I have Kirkland brand. Again, I love Costco. I have Himalayan pink salt that my wife bought. It's very pretty. And then I just have the regular old salt, Morton salt. When you reduce your carbs, immediately in the first couple weeks, you do lose some water weight, and you do lose some minerals such as potassium, such as magnesium, and such as sodium. And what I have found, again, your mileage may vary, but I need to actually take sodium every day because I was against eating sodium. If you want to look at the work of Finney with a PH, he has quoted a lot of, when I say work, he's quoted a lot of work that came out of Canada that shows that, too much salt, maybe not so good. Too little salt is absolutely not good. You need to be somewhere in the middle. I mean, everything else we say, hey, it's good to be in the middle, but with salt, we say you got to cut the salt down, and that's just not true. I do take fish oil. I take 1 fish oil tablet a day. Again, we think that fats are bad, or at least I did. We have fat phobia, but then we say fish oil is good for you. It's a fat. So maybe fats are not so bad. And then magnesium. I have to take magnesium. Many people have to take magnesium. Again, when you flush carbs out, you also flush magnesium. I just take a regular dosage of it. I do take a multivitamin as well. And then my wife got me into taking vitamin D. So I take 2 of these little tablets. So that's all I take, though. And it doesn't matter what brand it is. That's what I take. So I like to try to make things as simple as possible. And there's a lot of data that shows the way that humans think is that we like to compare things to conventional wisdom. So the conventional wisdom in nutrition is to move more and eat less. It's the gluttony and sloth. And saying that if we move more and burn calories, we'll be skinnier. If we eat less and we don't have as much nutrition coming in, we'll be skinnier. How many of you have tried to eat more or eat less rather and exercise more and have not lost any weight? You're like me, where you've gained about 5-10 pounds a decade. And now when you get into your 40s and 50s, you say, oh my God, and I can't lose the weight anymore. So this hasn't worked that well. So maybe there is an alternative hypothesis, and maybe it's something different. And so the newer nutritional thinking of the lower carb movement is understanding human design. Is that, as Jason Fung would say, a dish of brownies may have the exact same calories as a dish of almonds or a dish of meat and potatoes. But how come the brownies act very differently in our body? That is, the sugar is converted immediately or goes into our bloodstream immediately. Insulin spikes and it pushes it all into cells and causes us to get fat. So understanding that it's not all about calories in, calories out is a switch that you have to make, or a shift in your thinking. Must suffer to lose weight constantly. This is kind of the traditional thinking, is that you have to suffer and there's no pain, no gain. And what I will say is to suffer for the first month to 7 weeks in this low carb ketogenic lifestyle. You do suffer at the beginning when you're trying to switch from eating carbs and burning carbs to eating more or less carbs, more fat, and burning fat. And so you do suffer at the beginning, but the last 4 or 5 months have been fantastic. And so the whole idea of traditional was to eat lower fat. Fat was the enemy, high carbs. So we eat low fat. What do? We have to eat something. So we end up eating more high carbs. And carbs are addictive. And sugar, again, I don't know that there's a DSM, whatever we're up to, 5 criteria for addiction of sugar and carbs. But I know when I went off them, I really felt awful. So what we recommend is to eat low carbs and higher healthy fats. Again, if omega-3s are healthy and they're a fat, maybe there's other fats that are healthy too, such as the MCT oil or coconut oil, such as saturated fat, when you don't have a major presence of carbs, which spikes insulin. So use sugar for fuel. So we get energized with sugar, where we recommend the people that I follow to use fat and ketones for fuel. Ketones can cross the blood-brain barrier, and that is a reason why many people believe, and again, this is where you get out in the quackery land, that Alzheimer's, a way to treat people with dementia, and not full-blown Alzheimer's, but people that are starting to have memory problems, is to use a ketogenic diet, because ketones are an alternative fuel, a cleaner burning fuel in the brain, and actually many people that go on the ketogenic diet, including myself, feel a tremendous greater sense of peace, and just feels really good in the head, basically. So here is really as basic as you get. You eat carbs, which either is sugar or it turns to sugar in your blood. Insulin spikes. When insulin spikes, it's the master hormone that has you store fat. When insulin is up high, you can't burn your own fat. That's the reason why you can be 300 pounds and starving, because your insulin is high and you can't burn your own fat. So therefore your weight continues to go up. This is what I was doing. This is what I'm doing now. You lower the sugar in the blood, which is because you're not eating carbs or sugar or anything that, and everything has sugar in it. You have to really watch and become a food Nazi. Your sugar goes down, therefore your insulin goes down. You have chronically lower insulin. What ends up happening is you burn the fat storages that you have wherever they are, and you lose weight. So, new info that has interested me. This article or this YouTube video with Sarah Halberg with David Perlmutter. She is reversing type 2 diabetes. Reversing. Now, this sounds again like quackery, so check out the video, check out her site. Again, I have no financial interest. Her voice is a little high, so it may annoy some of you. Fat Burning Man speaks with, and I'm not going to even try to say her name, but she's got a beautiful voice. Oh my God, that beautiful, well, anyway. But she talks about the ketogenic diet with multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, and how to avoid some mistakes. I think it's again, he's a little bit too positive, the Fat Burning Man, but it's really a great video about the brain health and building mitochondria and just, anyway, watch it. And then the third one is Ted Naiman, How to Lift, especially when you're very busy and you're old, or as Bon Jovi said, older. I'm not old, I'm just older. But his video is very simple, writing on a whiteboard or not even a whiteboard. It's just a flip chart. And then I would ask you to share with me, what have you read recently or what videos have you seen recently? So why might you try something different? Well, it's only if you're unhappy with something that's in your own life. There has to be a why. So what's in it for you? I know what's in it for me is sharing this and hoping that others say, wow, Kevin was smart and this has changed my life. But what's in it for you, and why might you want to try something different? So thanks for watching. Appreciate any feedback. And again, thanks so much. Bye-bye.